Ms. Mary Tyler Holmes, Director Indo-Pacific Office, Mr. Harry T. Chris, along with other USAID officials, Mr. Satwinder Singh, MD NITCON Limited, all the dignitaries present in this particular program, government officials. Thank you for inviting me to this program. I understand that this particular program by USAID under Digital Engagement and Enablement Program DEEP is being run, and I also understand from the presentation that there have been several initiatives which have already been taken and it is in progress. I would like to mention here that I think a lot of industry associations are also here who are participating in this particular engagement. MSME in Madhya Pradesh is one of the most vibrant areas, sectors I would say, where things are really moving ahead, moving fast. Overall, if we look at MSME, we in India we call MSME, it is SME for you guys. So MSME in India is the second largest employer after agriculture in India. MSME, the pace at which MSME today is growing, what we also envisage, and also most importantly what Government of India and Government of Madhya Pradesh is looking at MSME. If you all have actually seen the national budget which was presented recently in the Parliament of India, MSME sector I would say has received maximum attention. And there are several areas where there are several interventions which are happening in the MSME sector. And I'm very happy to see that NITCON, along with under this USAID project of DEEP, has touched on most of the important areas, most importantly financing, and the areas pertaining to digital engagement. MSMEs in India today are looking at, they are trying to make themselves leap forward through digital interventions. COVID-19 has been, in a way, a blessing in disguise for all of us to look at digital interventions in a big way. From doing traditional way of our accounting, from the very traditional way of actually dealing with credit. Now we have, there's a huge involvement as far as the digital payments is concerned, digital accounting and other methodologies are concerned. I would like to mention here a few areas where Government of India and Madhya Pradesh are actually trying to do certain things. You must all have heard about CGTMSE. CGTMSE is one of the most important interventions by Government of India, and in the recent budget, Government of India has pledged 9,000 crores for lending benefit and most importantly credit to the MSMEs. Only yesterday we had the Chief Executive Officer of CGTMSE in Madhya Pradesh. We had a long discussion along with the bankers. Today, as of now, up to 2 crores of lending by any banks or financial institutions. There is a CGTMSE. If you pay the CGTMSE fees, the need for collateral is reduced. And I'm very happy to tell you that this is going to increase up to 5 crores. And the most other important intervention which we will be coming up very soon is that CGTMSE covers up to 75 to 85% of the total lending. The rest of the 15 to 25%, Madhya Pradesh government, we are thinking to bring in a credit guarantee scheme wherein the rest of this 50 to 25% shall be covered by the state government of Madhya Pradesh. So this needs to be understood holistically in the sense that credit, that's the most important thing that is required for any MSME to survive. I mean, to begin with, from a seed, from a formative age to developing itself into a bigger company, credit is the most important thing. Now, the second most important thing that I feel Government of India and State Government of Madhya Pradesh is looking at is how to improve the relationship between the seller and buyer. Credit for MSMEs, I mean, there is an MSME Act by Government of India, wherein within 45 days of actually selling of the product or the buyer receiving the product, those products he needs to pay to the seller. Or the MSMEs, that is what we are looking at here. Now, there have been several such issues pertaining to the payments. And you must all have seen once again in the budget, the national budget, union budget, once again focus is more on payments. I would also see that, I'm sure that this particular project is also looking at educating MSMEs on this particular aspects pertaining to payments, because any MSME has to take credit from the open market in order to manufacture, produce products and then sell it to the buyers. And buyers not doing the payments in time breaks the backbone of that particular MSME. So the emphasis is on payments. Timely payments by the buyers, and most importantly, we see most of the buyers are not necessarily MSMEs but bigger industries. So there are several interventions by Government of India and amendments to company law which is being made, which is being envisaged, and in the returns that are being filed by the companies, it needs to be there is a provision of mentioning it once in a year. Now it is going to be reduced to quarterly and needs to be appropriately mentioned in the books of the companies. There is a leniency on the part of companies who are buyers not to mention in their books. Now it will be appropriately mentioned in the books of the buyers as to what is the payments that is due to the MSMEs, the products that you actually purchased. So please, this is also the job of industry associations who are sitting here to educate the MSMEs. We want more and more MSMEs to grow, and not only grow, to flourish. It is MSMEs worldwide. If you look at worldwide, across the world, countries who have been able to make a major impact in the economies, it is MSMEs. And I would like to mention here that you see worldwide, countries like US or countries like, many countries in Europe, there may not be many ministries, but there is definitely one ministry which is called SME. There is an SME minister even in US, secretary SME in US also. There are secretaries in the sense who are equivalent of ministers in India. You see any of the countries in Europe also, you will have an SME ministry, The reason being, SME is such a very, very important entity worldwide. Now, in order to give more and more emphasis on the credit payments, the digital interventions are the most important things that we need to do. A very important initiative by Government of India is the ONDC, Open Network on Digital Commerce. The need for ONDC by Government of India is to increase e-commerce, increase payments through the commerce platforms, and also have more choice for both the buyer as well as the seller. Now, where are we? Where is India as of now, and where we need to go? And that is where I feel this particular initiative along with USAID is extremely, extremely important. China has the buyer-seller relationship. When we look at buyer-seller relationship, the payments that are done through the e-commerce and commerce platforms is to the extent of about 45 to 50%. And in India, the payments on through e-commerce or commerce platforms is to the extent of only near about 3 to 5%. You can just see the gap, or even if you see the Western or the developed countries or most of the European countries, the level of payments when it comes to whether it is, when we talk about commerce, e-commerce, we are talking about across the board. It is not about just about MSMEs, it's also businesses, all kinds of payments. So this is where this particular program of DEEP is extremely important, because we need to move from 3 to 5% to nearly about to 45 to 50% in a period of 10 years. What China has done 30 to 40 years, or what other countries have been able to do over a period of time through digital literacy and other interventions, we in India need to move very fast in order to achieve what we see that somehow we just got left behind in many areas pertaining to whether it's digital interventions or e-commerce or commerce platforms or any of these things. So this is an opportunity. This is a great opportunity, and I'm very happy to inform that we in Madhya Pradesh also feel extremely pinched about finance, about credit, about the payments that state governments have to do to the MSMEs. And within a week's time, you will come to know how much we are actually making efforts to make budgetary provisions so that the payments due for MSMEs is done as soon as possible. So my request through this particular program is that we need to move fast. That is the reason we have tied up with TREDS, the bill discounting systems, ONDC, the e-commerce platforms or the commerce related activities, the increased digitalization, increased digital interventions, increased payments related issues, credit facilities, and organizations like CGTMSE. Yesterday, I'm repeatedly telling you that we are going to have very soon an MOU with CGTMSE. And CGTMSE is going to be a revolution for MSMEs. And I tell this to all institutions, not only MSMEs, all institutions across the board. Take credit. Don't shy away from taking credit. Take credit, pay, grow. Again take credit, again pay, again grow. So if an economy is thinking on the lines of not taking credit or going for loans, feeling that a loan is a burden, can never grow. An economy which feels the importance of actually taking credit, that is credit is whether in whatever form, but pay back. And then again, take credit and again pay back. So we need to grow into an economy where there is more credit taken, invested, paid back and again taken. So this is how Government of India and state government is trying to think on as far as MSME is concerned. So the vision of Honorable Prime Minister of India of making India a 5 trillion economy by 2025, or India becoming the largest economy in the world by 2047 is going to happen. And we are all going to do that happen. So it is industry associations, it is MSMEs, it is government interventions and organizations like USAID who will help us in this particular growth. So let's all come together and try to find ways and also effectively implement all these policies and programs so that our desired results are achieved. I once again congratulate USAID, NITCON for this wonderful program. Thank you.